Good morning. Welcome. My name is Jackie, and I'm ready to open this service with our welcoming music, which is song number 149 in the Gray Hymnal, Lift Every Voice and Sing, and please rise in body and or spirit. Thank you. Good morning again. I'm Jackie, and I'll be your worship associate for this service, celebrating Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, marking the end of slavery in the United States. And I hope many of you were able to join in the celebration yesterday in Punta Gorda. This service is being broadcast live on YouTube and will be available as a recording on the UUFCC YouTube channel after the service. This is a good time to turn off your phones and try to remember to put them back on again. For those of you joining us virtually, you may wish to have a chalice or candle available for a chalice lighting ritual. Welcome to those who are watching on YouTube, and welcome to all here at the fellowship. Each week we gather together as we are in many different places, and whether our sacred space be virtual or live. You are welcome here at UUFCC no matter who you are, your race or identity, no matter who you love, no matter where you come from, no matter your background or spiritual journey. We know you come here for different reasons: to find community, to seek your spiritual and personal truths, to ask questions, to nurture and be nurtured, to explore new ideas. We come from different places, different religions, different beliefs, and different backgrounds. We trust you will find something that you need here: comfort, connection, challenge, and love. And we hope you will find ways to help others. If you are new here, please stand or wave as you are comfortable and tell us where you are from, how you found us, and why you decided to join us this morning. Tom will bring the microphone around so we can all hear you. Oh, I'm sorry, Cheryl's bringing the microphone. Wow, we have a lady doing it today. Woo! Anybody wish to stand and tell us your name or where you're from or anything? Nobody?
You sure?
There's 3 ladies over there that I know are new. I'm going to put them on the spot. No? No? Okay. Anyway, we're glad you have chosen to spend your Sunday morning with us. I have much gratitude to everyone who has contributed to making today's service happen, including our welcoming team, decorating and tech team, our behind-the-scenes folks, the office, the worship associates, the board, building and grounds, and cleaning folks. Those who are taking turns caring for us by making coffee, goodies, and cleaning up after the service. Now we're going to have the prelude by Margaret, Spiritual Medley. As always, that was beautiful. The chalice lighting this morning is by Greg Rowland. I breathe in the warmth of this light, its glow filling the spaces where fear and doubt reside. I bring out the tension I carry. I release what no longer serves me. I breathe in the strength of our community, a sanctuary of diverse voices and shared purposes, the urge to go alone. I embrace the power of togetherness, the silence that holds me back. I make space for honesty and justice. I breathe in the hope of transformation, knowing we are here to build and to heal. And I breathe out the despair, trusting that each change is born in small acts of love. As we light this chalice, may each breath remind us of the sacred rhythm of life, the pulse of creation, and the power we hold to shape the world around us. Now, as Laura lights the chalice, I would like you to recite the words in the order of service. As Laura, we love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our aspiration, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. Please rise in body and or spirit and sing hymn number 153 in the gray hymnal, Oh, I Woke Up This Morning. The opening words this morning are by Amy Bowden Friedman. And sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Here may you find a warm greeting, a kind word, a gentle touch. Sometimes I feel like I have no friend. Here you find support, a community of support, a pulse of liberation, and a vision of hope. Sometimes I feel I am almost gone. Here may you find a song to sing, a moment of silence, and a hand to hold. Even when you are a long way from home, may these walls give you shelter. May this community break through your loneliness, and may you feel the embrace of a larger spirit of life and love. Come, let us worship together. We have a book of life that offers you the opportunity to share your joys, sorrows, and life milestones with the rest of us by writing them in the red book. We also embrace the tradition of dropping stones in the bowl. This water symbolizes the community, and the stones represent your joy or sorrow. This is the time to briefly share that which is most sacred to you. There will be a time for announcements later in the service. Please be aware we're creating a permanent record of these moments on YouTube. I know I have something here. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Jonathan Panzer passed away last. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, geez. Okay, here I am. Jonathan, is it Panzer? Passed away last night at his daughter's home in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. He was courageous. His daughter had driven him there with his car and stuff this past week. He's now a cloud. Thank you, Maureen. Wow. Now, if anyone has a joy or sorrow they would like to tell us about, please come forward and drop a stone in the water.
Jonathan loved coming here. And last week, when he was here and knew he was moving, he said to friends, he said, when I get to Camp Hill, I'm going to find the UU place near there. He said, and if they don't have a conversation among friends, I'm going to start one. And if they don't have a men's group, I'm going to start one. So now he's up on a cloud, looking around, saying, "Okay, where do I go? Where's UU?" So thank you for caring about him like you all did, as I did.
I am Patrick. I wanted one stone for my husband who is recovering from hernia surgery from last Wednesday. So he's coming along, and thankfully he's just taking Tylenol instead of hard narcotics for the pain. So that is coming along very good. And the other stone is in celebrating the Juneteenth celebration yesterday with many stands. It was so well organized, and yeah, looking forward to having it again if they do it.
Good morning, Carolyn Kay. I knew Jonathan only a little bit because we bonded over Ithaca, where I have many relatives. Loved what I knew about Jonathan, wish I'd known him more. This morning I swam with friends and I said, we have an open mic time. And they said, oh no, you're not gonna go to that mic, are you? I said, yes. I said, what do you want me to talk about? And they said, how about a flag? Because yesterday I helped Jack put up his dangling flag, which the wind had blown down. And I was a postmaster, so I put the flag up the pole every morning and knew how to take it down and fold it properly. It's a piece of fabric that I want to love, but there hasn't always been liberty and justice for all, and that bothers me. Thank you, Juneteenth. Thank you, all of you who love freedom and don't want war. Thank you. We don't want war.
No, we don't. With this last stone represents unspoken joys and sorrows in our hearts. May we hold these and each other in love and tenderness so that this fellowship may be a source of strength, comfort, and courage and hope in the days and weeks ahead. Please, we'll have a moment of silence. Now it is my very distinct pleasure to invite Connie. She was instrumental in that Juneteenth celebration, and I've become a member of the NAACP, and I've come to know Connie as a warm, generous, and loving soul. Come on, Connie.
Good morning, UU.
Morning.
I am so pleased and honored to be here this morning. And I do want to extend a very warm thank you from the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Port Charlotte. I thank you for your support of the Juneteenth celebration. It would not have been possible without churches in this community, and especially the Unitarian churches, the one of Venice and the one fellowship here. Like Richard Patrick always says, my vice president, when I walk through that door, I always just feel a presence. And in the Black church, we call it the Holy Spirit. I feel that presence when I come through the door. I feel the peace, I feel the calmness, and it just kind of makes me centered. A lot of times when I come before people to speak, like everyone, I can get a blank space, but you guys just give me such a warm welcome, and I have such a warm feeling coming in. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you for having me. Before I get into Juneteenth, I want to tell you a little bit about the Black family, okay? I'm from a family of 14. My parents had 14 children, 2 sets of twins, 7 boys, 7 girls, and I'm the 7th. So we are a village within ourselves. I see my father looking down from the cloud every time we gather, because there's over 100 of us. I'm originally from Pittsburgh. We have a reunion every summer in Pittsburgh. We go to a public park, and we have a big old picnic. And there's tons of us. And so, like I said, my dad always had a big smile on his face, and everyone tells me I'm like him. I have that smile as well. And I just see his smile looking down on his tribe. And so in our family, we celebrated Juneteenth, but it was just our family. And we would have a picnic, we would have barbecue, we would have some type of red drink, because that symbolized the freedom. And we would always have red velvet cake, and there would always be music and a lot of chatter and a lot of talking, and that's how we celebrated it. As I became an adult and moved from Pittsburgh, I moved to Maryland, and in the DC area, Juneteenth was celebrated with a parade. We started, if you're familiar at all with DC, Georgia Avenue runs from DC to Maryland. We started the parade at the city line, DC and Maryland. The parade would go all the way down to Adams Morgan, and once we got to Adams Morgan, there would be vendors, there would be music, there would be laughter. Everybody in the city showed up. So when I moved here, and there wasn't a Juneteenth celebration, I was kind of like shocked, but that is the culture here. And so, of course, when I became president of the NAACP, then that was my first thinking. We have to recognize Juneteenth. And even though the state of Florida might not consider it a legal holiday, the government does. So federally, it is considered a legal holiday. So my first thinking was, we have to put together a Juneteenth celebration. Well, everybody kind of said, I don't know if that's going to work. I don't think this community is ready for this. We're going to get in a lot of trouble. And if you guys know anything about our branch, when you come to our meetings, there's always a lot of back and forth. Should we do it? Shouldn't we do it? You know, everybody's always in a tizzy over not offending anyone and staying undercover. But my thinking is, we can't stay undercover. We have to come out. And so the more we do, the more we're recognized in Charlotte County, the better off we're all going to be. Because let's face it, we're in this boat together, folks. So we're either going to swim or sink. And my theory is, we're swimming. We're coming out of this, and we're coming to the other side. So with that being said, now that you know a little bit about my family, I'm not going to talk about my kids because they don't like me doing that. So I do have an adult son and an adult daughter. My son lives in South Carolina. He is a 30-year veteran. He came out of the Army as Sergeant Major. My daughter still lives in Maryland. She is an attorney for the federal government, FDIC. She has 3 daughters. My son has 4 sons. So I'm a proud grandparent of 7. And I love them to death. And they get tired of me talking. So as you can see, I could go on and on and on about my kids, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to move on and talk about Juneteenth. But I want to also give some background. And I'm going to read it because if I don't, I'll be here longer than 20 minutes. And y'all don't want to hear all that. Okay, so there's a lot of history in the U.S. that has gone untaught in schools. This country's land was stolen from indigenous communities, and its wealth was built on enslaved black people, stolen from their families and communities. Americans like to think that we are a beacon of freedom in the world, but our true history tells a different story. Our Constitution didn't recognize black people as full human beings with the same rights as other citizens until 1868. So what does freedom really mean in this country? The Emancipation Proclamation ended slavery on January 1, 1863. But the enslaved people of Texas weren't freed until June 19, 1865. That was 2 months after the Civil War ended. Juneteenth is celebrated as a reminder that no one is free until we are all free. Juneteenth has been recognized as a federal holiday, but to be clear, most black organizers and black-led organizations aren't asking for a holiday. They're asking for reparations, defunding the police, funding black communities and community services, and ending mass incarceration. In essence, we are calling for an end to the systemic racism and injustice that remains embedded in this nation. The Black Lives Matter movement was born from the undeniable history of police brutality and murders of black people across the country. From George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, to Tamir Rice, to Sandra Bland, to Duante Wright, and so many others whose names we may never know. A black person is 5 times more likely to be stopped without just cause than a white person. Mass incarceration and the school to prison pipeline impact black people at a rate of 5 times higher than white people, making up 32% of incarcerated people when black people make up only 14% of the US population. And the US incarcerates more people than any nation on earth. Many experts call mass incarceration a new form of slavery. Right now, we're witnessing open assaults on voting rights aimed disproportionately at black, brown, and indigenous communities. Hundreds of state laws aimed at criminalizing the right to protest, curtailing, back up. Indigenous people. We recently marked 100 years since an angry white mob massacred the residents of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and burned the entire town down to the ground. But 100 years later, the survivors and their families have not received reparations for the money and the lives stolen from them. Most Americans have never been taught this story and won't be if racist laws in several states are upheld. So as we have just commemorated Juneteenth, please remember that unit structural racism, white supremacy, and colonialism are not ended until this must remain committed to fight for racial justice and true freedom for all. There are still so much history yet to be made. If the cruelties of slavery could not stop us, the opposition we now face will surely fail. The opposition we now face will surely fail. Because the goal of America is freedom. Abused and scorned though we may be with America's destiny. So, Juneteenth history, many people think of President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation issued on January 1st, 1863, as the official end of slavery. And while that's not entirely untrue, many African descendants remained enslaved. For several years after the proclamation was made. That's because Lincoln's decree to preserve the Union stated, "My paramount object in this struggle is to save the Union, and it's not either to save or destroy slavery." He also went on to say, if I could do it, and if I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that. What I do about slavery and the colored race, I do because I believe it helps this union. Famous for his history, Lincoln clearly viewed his decree more as a political tool than a means of liberation. Its impact bears that out. Lincoln's 1863 Emancipation Proclamation declared that all persons held as slaves within the rebellious states are and henceforward shall be free. This applied to states that had seceded from the United States, leaving slavery intact in border states and southern states under northern control. In addition, the promise of abolition that Juneteenth celebrates today was contingent on the Union Army winning the Civil War, which didn't happen until 1865. But here's where Juneteenth meaning comes into play. Even after the end of slavery was declared, the Union had to enforce emancipation in Texas. Approximately 25,000 people were still being held in slavery. when on June 19, 1865, Union troops led by Major General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston to announce that the war had ended and that all the enslaved were now free. So you can see that the purpose for Juneteenth is so very important to the Black community, but it should be important to the entire United States of America because it represented freedom. And like the wall back here says, you know, freedom for one is freedom for all. So although slavery wouldn't legally end in all states until December 1865, ratification of the 13th Amendment, June 19, the day that became known as Juneteenth. That was the day the last enslaved people in America were freed. That resulted in a massive celebration. So how do we celebrate Juneteenth? In 1866, the year after Granger's order, the first Juneteenth anniversary celebration happened. Since then, celebration is certain, and certain regions of the United States have continued the tradition of honoring this important day. In 1872, a group of formerly enslaved people put together $800 and purchased 10 acres of land in Houston, Texas, for the city's annual Juneteenth celebration. They named the space Emancipation Park, and it plays host to Juneteenth celebrations even now. In the wake of the 2020 racial justice uprisings, a growing number of companies decided to honor Juneteenth as an annual holiday for employees. It has also crept into mainstream media recently with the ABC's weekly show, Blackish, and FX's Atlanta, both featuring episodes that prominently celebrate it. So in 1980, Texas became the first state to make Juneteenth a state holiday. And as of today, 45 states and Washington, D.C. recognize the day as a state holiday. Despite a lack of federal recognition, the holiday has lived on through rich traditions. Every year since the first Juneteenth occurred, small pockets of the United States have erupted in celebration on June 19th. But everyone has a different idea of how to celebrate Juneteenth. You might see grand parades or neighborhood gatherings, lively celebrations in the form of festivals with local bands like we had yesterday, playing, storytelling, picnics, and a Juneteenth stable, which is barbecue. Traditionally, red drinks, red foods are a must at these barbecues, with red symbolizing resilience. Why does Juneteenth matter? Juneteenth's history represents the good and the bad, and what makes the United States the country it is. It's symbolic of liberation, but one that was delayed to consistent opposition and resistance to equality that is deeply rooted in white supremacy, something that all too well often feels very American. After all, what is freedom when you're seen and treated as subhuman? From the original Juneteenth to the present day, Black people endured a continuous fight for equality and a different kind of freedom. So, with that being said, Juneteenth to us as a race is one of the most important holidays in the United States. When the Declaration of Independence was signed, that was considered Independence Day for the United States of America. But it wasn't an Independence Day for African Americans, or at that time, Negroes, because we were considered inhuman at that time. So it wasn't a day of freedom for us. And so when you hear Black folks say 4th of July is not our Independence Day, that's what is meant by it. Our Independence Day is June 19th, because that was the day that we were freed. Because, as I said, July 4th, we weren't even recognized as human when that was put into place. So, thus, we celebrate June 19th, and that's why we, on June 19th, would like that recognition. But it's not only, like I said before, it's not only for Black folks or people of color, it's for everyone because we are all a part of these United States of America. And if you look around this room, you see the diversity, and not only age, but in color and everything that resembles America, everything that we call good about America. And this is what is represented in here. So what better way than for all of us to unite, especially with what's going on in this country today? If we don't unite, folks, we're going to lose everything that we fought for, and especially the civil rights, the voting rights, LGBTQ, all of the communities that have gained enormous rights over the last 50 years are threatened right now to be gone. And so as an NAACP president of Charlotte County, I would like to see every organization, every group that is especially being threatened by what's going on in this country, I would like to see us all get together and make a soulful, loud noise in Charlotte County and let those powers that be know and recognize we're here. We're not going anywhere. It took us too long to get to this place, and we're not going to let it be stolen from us or taken away from us. And the only way we can make that known is that we work together as a unit and unify, because like I said before, we're all in this together. And so there's not a black, white, brown, yellow. It's a people issue right now. And so our organization, the NAACP Charlotte County, we meet the fourth Thursday in the month. We meet at the Cooper Street Rec Center. Our meetings start at 6:30. It's open to everyone. A lot of you all in this room are members, and I appreciate that. So you know what we're about. But the fight starts now. And as our president, Derek Johnson of the National NAACP says, we have the fight of our life on our hands right now. And so we have got to unify, and we've got to come together. So I thank you for having me here today. I thank you for caring about Juneteenth, because that means a lot. And the only way that we are going to continue the struggle and continue to survive is to continue to educate ourselves. Because there's a lot of people, like the reporter yesterday said, and Ted Z was telling me, that when he interviewed me, he didn't even know what Juneteenth was, had never heard of it. This is a white guy. But he was for the cause once he started doing research to write the story. So there, again, is a problem. If you don't know about Juneteenth, if you don't know about the LGBTQ struggle, if you don't know about the indigenous struggle, if you don't know about LULAC, if you don't know about these things, then you're not only in the dark, but you're ignorant to what we're about. So that's what I mean when I say we need to all get together in Charlotte County and make a noise. So thank you once again for having me. I hope you all have a blessed day. And this is the day that the Lord has made, so let us rejoice and be glad in it.
You know, I don't know what to say after that. Wow. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you said it. And yes, we're all in this together. And we will not fail, right? No, we will not fail. We shall not be moved, right? Oh, Lord above. Whew. I'm all right. Thank you. In the tradition of Unitarian Universalist congregations exist because of this. It is our privilege and our responsibility to ensure the health and future of this fellowship. We have several ways you can give. In the baskets being passed around, with the Venmo app made to UUFCC offering. If you are here for the first time, please do not feel obligated to give. You are our guest today. We will now accept the offering. And the choir has a special song, "We Shall Not Be Moved." and clap and sing and woo! Go for it. I love that song. Now it's time to highlight the life of the community. The back of the order of service has this week's calendar. Also, the weekly update has a calendar, so we can check that as well. I have one announcement so far. The Board of Trustees is seeking candidates to serve the fellowship as membership director. This is a part-time, paid, temporary position. The membership director will promote the mission and vision of this fellowship in an effort to increase visibility in the community and enhance hospitality to visitors. The director will also support us in becoming a more welcoming, inclusive community. If you are interested, please contact Laura Anderson by Thursday, June 26th. His closing words are by Robert Kaufman. We've come together to share our deepest concerns, speaking and singing words of inspiration and hope. We have committed ourselves to do what we can to ease the burdens of those who suffer, to stand for decency and compassion. We have pledged to work for a more wholesome environment for us and for all the generations that will follow. And Extinguishing the Chalice by Craig Rowland. As we extinguish this chalice flame, may the warmth of its light remain with us, guiding our steps in our hearts. Let us carry forward the strength of this community, the courage to speak truth, and the hope that transformation is possible. In each breath we take, may we remember that the work of love, justice, and healing is ours to continue, both here and beyond these walls. Go in peace with the light of this gathering to illuminate the way. And now, as Laura will extinguish the chalice, please join me in reciting the words in the order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of hope, the fire of commitment, or the warmth of community. May these ideals shine in our lives and warm our hearts until we are together again. Please go now in peace. Okay. Please rise in body or spirit and sing hymn number 169 in the gray hymnal, We Shall Overcome.
Oh
Now you can turn your phones back on, and please join us for refreshments. And we have a cake celebrating Juneteenth.